Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of IFNZ Presents That Was A Hoot, a Rocko Modern Life recap series.
Not many.
Not many.
I took the mini out. Did you know?
Macro series.
It is macro.
What is it? Is
Yeah,
that what
maxi
you said?
series.
Maxi series.
Maxi series.
Maxi pad series.
Yes.
Which one? Like an Always brand?
What did we decide? Did we tell everybody? Did we prep them for how long this series will be?
Very.
Or did we?
Also, this is regular episodes now, so welcome for people who listen to 150.
Oh yeah,
Are going into this knowing that there are no other numbered episodes now for a while.
This is what you get.
This is it.
And
So get Paramount Plus and strap in because you're in for one hell of a donkey show.
I feel like people have been enjoying it. The feedback I've gotten is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who gave you feedback?
This guy.
What's his name?
35 episodes is what we're going to end up on, most likely.
Oh, 35.
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's our maxi series.
That's a maxi.
Yeah.
Would that classify as a maxi in a comic standing?
I don't know. It might be too big for a maxi, especially with the way that comic book series go anymore.
Would you say macro is bigger than maxi, or is that smaller?
I don't know if macro series is a term.
Ultimate series, like Ulti.
That seems
Ulti
bigger.
series. That's bigger than maxi.
Yeah, I would say so.
An Ulti series. So welcome to episode 11 of That Was A Hoot, a Rocko's Modern Life Ulti series.
Yes.
We're heading into season 2, episode 3, segment 1. This one is Lounge Singer. We're starting off at the Patcho Heaven trailer park where Filbert lives. He's looking out of his window of a trailer, and he pulls down a backdrop that says Philb while he is scatting.
That could be taken two different ways.
Yeah.
But
like either
he's
the scat man or poop play.
He turns on the jukebox type thing. I'm not sure. It says something on it, but we're gonna call it a jukebox for the sake of the story.
That's like a karaoke machine, I think.
Oh, there we go.
Is what it's meant.
It's karaoke machine for the sake of the story, and it plays beats, and that makes sense because it plays the music but not the words.
Yeah,
karaoke machine.
A la karaoke.
I haven't been to a karaoke situation in a long time. It seems like.
Yeah.
We
got we did not but my
got
dad,
a karaoke machine.
My dad got Betty a karaoke machine. That's actually pretty cool, honestly. Bluetooth pairs to the phone or whatever you want to do, so that way, or even your TV, so that way if you YouTube the audio over to your karaoke machine, you can have the words pop up there and do that.
Cool.
Has an app that goes with it, but it doesn't work great. So I always just like
you should do the Bluetooth.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So I guess my karaoke experience is a little bit fresher.
Yeah,
more fresh than yours.
You're fresh on that. He puts on a show for no one while he's in his living room. Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't put on a show in their own living room? He starts to sing, and it turns out that he is an awesome lounge singer. His voice is just is
super velvety. And outside of his windows, the flowers start perking up and the sun starts shining and everything's super happy in the most cartoony
absolutely
thing that you could possibly imagine because of his singing. And Rocko is following the voice to Filbert's house and knocks on the door.
And Filbert shuts everything down. He answers the door. Rocco's like, "Your voice is amazing. You should sing in front of people." And Filbert immediately gets nervous and breaks down in full body hives, which isn't the only time that happens. I think, that might be next.
Is this the episode whenever he goes inside of his shell and Rocko sticks his head inside of his shell and he's like rubbing the cream?
It could be. I'm not sure. I remember at one point in time.
It's like inside of his shell is also like a miniature version of a house.
Yes.
So if he's like tucked inside of it, he's got like a chair and a lamp or something inside of his shell at all times, basically.
Because he's like, "Oh no, get the ointment." Yeah. And I remember Rocko standing there just like squeezing the tube, and there's just like ointment
just spilling out
everywhere.
He gets like a huge lather and starts covering his arms. Filbert says his greatest dream would be to be a lounge singer, and shows Rocko his lounge singer Hall of Fame that includes the greatest people ever, like Jack Walla, Johnny Charisma, Bobby Gilla, Frank Salamander, and Buddy Gecko.
Are these all like people that they've just changed the names? Like, I'm assuming Frank Sinatra is Frank Salamander,
probably,
but
Buddy Gecko is maybe Buddy Holly.
He wasn't a lounge singer though.
No, but I mean, I don't really know.
I don't know. I don't know any lounge singers. I guess
Buddy Hall.
Is that a lounge singer?
Who would Johnny Charisma be? What's a Johnny?
Carson.
Yeah, he was a lounge singer once.
Rocko talks Filbert into going to the O room, which is a different situation.
That could be taken two ways.
Absolutely. But he's nervous, and Rocko tells him to picture the audience naked. Of course, Filbert walks out and he says he can't do it. It's too disgusting. And Rocko goes out and sticks his head out and he goes, "Yuck! Open mic night is a very dangerous night."
You didn't do the voice. You're so good at it.
Am I good at it?
Yeah, I think so.
I sound like...
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, open mic night is a very dangerous night.
I think it's just cute when you do it.
Oh, thanks.
Filbert's sulking alone at home when Buddy Gecko comes on the TV to sell his motivational tape, Geckonetics. He orders it and then goes back to open mic night.
Filbert takes to the stage, and this time he starts singing Hypochondria, and which I imagine has to be an original song, because who else would sing about hypochondria?
Like this is kind of a small riff maybe on High Anxiety, the Mel Brooks movie, because there's a moment in that movie where he actually sings a song called High Anxiety as a lounge singer in a lounge club.
Okay.
And that whole movie is just a big riff on and spoof on a bunch of Alfred Hitchcock classics. High Anxiety being a reference to Vertigo, that movie. But I think that's what Hypochondria is meant to be, like just a kind of spoof on that.
Gotcha. And the audience loves him, but he has to stop in the middle because he's been listening to them Geckonetics. He has to stop in the middle of the song and get another fix of that Geckonetic tape. Turns out that he listened to the other side of the tape, which is how to sell ice. They're really like they're cutting some price. They're like, well, half of this
that
tape
could
is
be taken two ways.
Hey,
I didn't keep doing that all episode. Filbert then goes on tour across the country and makes it to Las Vegas, where there are places named. I'm doing the lists today.
Yes, you are.
The Broken Nose, Judd's Juicy Jackpots, the 25-cent buffet, Sleever's Palace. I don't like that. The Sticky Saddle. These are fucking gross. Is this all Vegas?
Yeah, this is all in Vegas.
Okay, Lucky Lisa's, Texas Lose-A-Rama, and Joe's.
Just Joe's.
I feel like Joe's is like always been a staple for like the Looney Tunes cartoons. Remember there was always like a Joe's Cafe or whatever. And it was like always a Joe's something.
Yeah.
And that was always like the staple like eatery diner place.
He meets Buddy Gecko, who actually came out to see Filbert. Buddy crushes the tapes on accident. He sits down in the chair where Filbert's tape player is, and Filbert dreams of bombing and getting chased out of town. And even, I believe there's a tombstone where he essentially he's died even because of all of this.
And then Buddy Gecko comes up to the tombstone and harasses him while he's dead in the grave.
Yes.
At that point in time as well.
And Buddy's like, just don't worry about it. Those tapes are just a joke anyways. Just picture the audience naked.
That's all he does.
That's right.
So it turns out that the next place he's playing for is the Nudist Swine Las Vegas chapter. So they were already nude. But he goes and does great nonetheless. Buddy comes out on stage and sings with him, and they do an awesome duet
of "Come Crawl with Me," which I like.
That is a Buddy Gecko song.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because that was like he was doing a cover of the song. He sings it at the beginning in the. I
thought it was another Filbert original.
No, it's not a Filb.
Okay, not a Filb.
Not a Filb original.
That's right. So Buddy offers for Filbert to go on tour. But he turns it down so he can do what he was born to do and sing in small lounges, because he doesn't want to make the big time. He doesn't want big things. He wants. I was born for small lounges, buddy. And so he goes back home.
If he get I don't know if it would be like a full on tour. Is that what he's meant to do?
I think so.
I was just like they is a lot of your
Vegas. You do
Vegas. Yeah, I was gonna say like people have the residencies at Vegas, and those are usually where you see like a lot of like loungy acts ended up there kind of a thing. So I wouldn't, they're already in Vegas anyways.
I got a real dumb thing that just came up to me.
What was it?
I forgot that there's a Nirvana song called Lounge Act, but I was thinking like that's the act of lounging.
Oh, you thought it was like I'm just chilling.
Yeah,
I can go two ways.
I never put together that it's a lounge act. It's like a lounge act, like
Literally like a lounge singer, like a
Yes.
lounge act. Yeah.
So that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
We did an open mic night once.
Do we?
Yeah, this is
Where was that at?
This is a question. That's not the question.
No, where was it at? I was asking you that question.
Russell Hill Winery.
Oh, that was an open mic. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I
don't know why I thought it wasn't.
We did. It was a show. It was our biggest show ever. It was our only show.
No, we played others. They were all just like, we played the art gala in Cape, and
did we do the art gallery?
Yep. Me and you did it.
And then we did the fundraiser thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
We've at least had 3.
Yes.
If not more.
Yeah.
I'll say more. Just to make myself feel better. At least 4.
I didn't find it to be dangerous though. So I don't find open mic night to be a dangerous night, as Rocko has said.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, and I didn't any other time that I played open mic nights. So my question is, what do you think the root of picturing people naked is?
I don't know. I guess it's always just been an association of you're seeing people in you're imagining people in their most vulnerable form. You know, they're stripped down, they're naked. You're just imagining them in that. Yeah, like there's no way they could make fun of you or harm you or anything like that because they're at their most vulnerable at that point in time as well. So maybe in the back of your mind, it just makes things easier because everybody's vulnerable at that point in time.
Fair.
That's kind of how I've always took it. I don't know if there's an actual other way to take it or not.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. What about you? How do you think? Do you think it's the same?
I think so. But I got to think, I was confused about it because like as I get older, like I'm less concerned about my body, I guess. Like, or I'm more comfortable with it. That's more the word. I'm not less concerned. I'm more comfortable with myself. And so I'm like, well, like that's not really that intimidating or that like, and also I know a lot of people who are even more comfortable with their body. So they're not that vulnerable when they're naked.
True.
But I guess as a naive kind of thought, absolutely, it makes you feel negative.
Especially whenever you're not used to that kind of like a performance thing. Like I used to always be growing up in grade school and stuff, like scared kind of almost to do speeches and stuff like that. You know, even after doing like band concerts and stuff like that, I would still be scared to do like speeches and just being up in front of a group of people. I never really catered to I'm going to imagine you guys naked kind of a thing because it doesn't really make sense in the actual real world things.
And I wasn't that imaginative of a kid.
But I meant like it's just one of those things. It's like it's just becoming more and more comfortable with everything as it goes along. Like now I could go up in front of people and talk and it's not really that big of a deal at all. But you know, I mean, there was a period of time like 20 years ago where I would have been scared shitless because of it. And I didn't really know why. I guess it's just because scared of failure. Maybe that would be it.
You're not confident in your material.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still, even to this day, have some confidence issues about certain things. Episode 3, segment 2, She's a Toad. This episode, Ed is working late on a big proposal for work. And his nose-picking boss, Mr. Dupet, comes in and tells him that he better be done or he's gonna be gone. He also flicks a booger at Ed.
Ed wakes up screaming at home in bed, and Bev tells him to calm down and that she could solve all of Conglomera's problems. Ed is freaking out, so Bev begins working on the proposal instead.
So by the morning, Bev finishes the proposal and gives it to Ed, but Ed literally cracks into pieces.
He shatters.
Like glass. Bev sees Heifer and Filbert on Rocco's step, just chilling outside, waiting for Rocco to wake up like little kids would do. And she asks if they would like to play a game.
I love that because we've never seen that side of things. And later on, we'll see, Heifer just walks into Rocco's house and starts watching TV, even if Rocco's still sleeping.
Yeah,
but like
that's already happened.
Yes,
well, like I don't understand what the difference is about this.
So
now.
Today, like they're just sitting on a stoop. We're just waiting for him to wake up.
Maybe it's because Filbert's with him or something. Maybe they feel like they each have to like. That doesn't seem like something Filbert would do.
No, it's definitely a Heifer move. But
maybe Heifer's trying to be like extra behaved because he's like, I'm not gonna try and break in this dude's house just to chill.
Or Filbert got there first.
Yeah, or Filbert got there first and he's like, I can't get in there now. He'll think I'm a weirdo.
Right.
Yeah.
So while she works on Ed Bighead's costume for them to be in, the game is that Heifer and Filbert are gonna be
Mr. Bighead.
gonna little rascals this thing and be Mr. Bighead.
Two dudes in a suit.
Yes. Even though Heifer definitely is enough of a size. He's bigger than Ed by himself.
Is Heifer's like the ass of it, because he has like a fat ass. Like they're not.
No. Oh, I forgot about this. No, Heifer's the head and Filbert's the back. But so while she's doing this, I got to make sure I don't miss any
Doesn't
notes.
something happen where it, like, maybe I'm skipping ahead. Something happens where his ass is fat and then it like deflates.
Oh, I don't know. But so while they're waiting there, Heifer and Filbert are staying in the house, and Heifer just looks over at Filbert and goes, I died once.
Like it's about the chicken, the choking chicken.
So random. Yes.
I died once.
Yeah.
He just realized finally I should tell Filbert
this. Yeah. I guess like him and Filbert maybe are new friends. Like Rocco's their middle point, and he's like, fun fact.
Never had too much interaction.
Yes.
Like this is a Heifer Filbert, a la episode kind of a thing. No Rocko interaction.
Yeah, there's
really.
barely any Rocko at all. But actually, a fun fact in this is, so she makes this costume, right? They get in there, they're doing the little rascal style. The back end's supposed to be Filbert. It's Rocco's shoes, Rocco's bottom of his legs,
and
Rocco's wallaby tail underneath
in the outfit.
The entire episode is it's drawn as Rocko on the back end of that suit.
What the hell were they thinking?
There must have been a script change.
It had to have been.
It was because Heifer had to tell Filbert that he died once, and he couldn't tell Rocko that because he knows already.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why. Because there's, like you said, Rocko is not a component really in this episode at all. But they must have wrote it differently. Did what's his face, the voice of Rocko, was he off this week and they rewrote it to be Filbert because he was available, or what? But if you go back and watch it, every animation of it is Rocco's back half.
Wow. I don't think I noticed that whenever I was going through. They're paying that much attention to it, I guess.
Yeah,
but that's nuts.
Because it's something you see normally. It's the same like shoes that you're used to seeing.
But I'm not thinking like I know who's in the suit, but I'm not thinking like looking around there and be like, oh yeah, that's Rocco's body. And then he shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, but they do drawing, like they do drawings. They do like interiors of the big head suit with Filbert and Heifer talking.
Yeah.
But then they go back outside
and
it's
exterior is all Rocco stuff. Yes. It's like they just like, I don't know.
They were lazy.
Yeah, they had to have been. That's it. They were like, we already drew it. We might as well just see if we can do it and get away with it.
Yeah.
So they walk into Conglamo and the costume works somehow. It's like, I think the arms that they're controlling are one of them is a toilet scrubber.
I believe
the other one is something, I can't remember what it is, but the other one, I remember them trying to like grab the handle with the toilet scrubber part. So as he's signing in something, his eye deflates, and then Heifer blows the eyeball back up from the inside of the suit, and they punch their way through the halls. They make their way to the boardroom and start doing the proposal there.
And surprisingly, the proposal goes well, except for one of the eyes just goes like it's a balloon, and just goes off. But once they're done and everybody's surprised, and I think they even clap, Heifer and Filbert pop out and they're like, surprise! It was us all along. Like they could have pulled this off, but they thought the goal was to just trick people.
Which is odd because the eyeball flew off and they all like traced it around the room, the people that they're giving the proposals to, and then they just keep going and act like nothing really mattered or happened. That would be out of the ordinary.
To be fair, we've seen Mr. Bighead in a lot of situations where he could have just had an eyeball fly through the air and just keep going.
Or, I mean, he is in a million pieces right now.
That's true.
That could have been something that maybe happened at some point in time there whenever he cracked under pressure, literally. So the executives look at them, and Mr. Dupet wants to know where Ed is. They say that Mrs. Bighead put them up to this. Mr. Dupet says that it's genius, and the board runs out to the parking lot to try and talk to Bev.
She tells Dupet that they would increase productivity if they weren't all always picking their noses. And Dupet's like, genius! And he has one of the other employees start picking his nose instead, and offers Bev a job.
We get to see a sequence then of Bev working at her new job. Ed is strapped to the bed at home, brain dead for whatever reason, I guess, because of the
He's
shattering.
so stressed out.
And Heifer and Filbert visit him in the Ed suit. Filbert's talking to him saying, I. But Heifer wants to be included and wants to tell him we, and ends up saying, we. And Heifer loves it. He repeats it, and they pop the eyes, knocking Ed out of his trance.
So back at the office, Bev is working hard, but she misses Ed. And she even tells the office workers, like, I just miss my husband. And so the office workers wear Ed hats to make her feel better. And Bev meets with Mr. Dupet, and she tells him that she quit. She says, is everything going well? Are we being productive? Is productivity's up? And he's like, yeah, everything is great. And she's like, well, it's time for me to go. And she says that she's taken the building over the weekend, though, for a vacation. So she's like, well, you can't be in the building. I'll bring it back, or Ed will bring it back on Monday. And then and when Ed returns with the building, he'll take her spot.
So Bev and Ed drive the building. And then Heifer and Filbert get all of the employees to say wee because they're still dressed up in the Ed outfit.
That's right.
And they drove the building away.
They drove it
on vacation.
Yeah, there's like up in like the 20th story is a steering wheel, evidently, and you can just drive it.
Why did they need to take the building on vacation?
I think that Bev is just so good at her job and like worries about employee satisfaction.
Sure.
That she even went as far as building satisfaction and want to make sure the building was happy. And the building probably wanted to take a little vacay.
Oh, you think the building is sentient?
Yes. I think
just just like a vehicle.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we learn in another episode that Rocco's car is sentient.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
Vehicles can definitely be sentient. So if you could take any building on vacation, it would be sentient, of course. It would respond. You could actually have a good time with it. What building would that be? Not necessarily where you would go. That's kind of here nor there. Right. But what building would you take?
Busch Stadium.
You take Busch Stadium with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good food, entertainment, like all kinds of stuff, and just go wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't know what I've been thinking about this one a lot. But you could do something like the Statue of Liberty is technically a building.
Is it?
Yeah, because I mean, there's rooms.
I would say it's a statue,
but it also has. But what makes a building?
I don't know.
It has rooms. It has offices. It has.
So does that mean that the arch
staircases?
is a building?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know.
You disagree?
I don't know. I would just say it's an arch.
So maybe I scrap. I'll scrap the Statue of Liberty.
No, you don't have to. If that's how you feel about it, then it's fine. If you do that, could I and two other people join you, and then we could recreate the scene from Ghostbusters 2, where we go to the building and spray the ooze on it to make it happy?
Sure.
With the "I love taking me," you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember it. No,
it's okay.
But
homework for the week:
watch Ghostbusters.
Watch Ghostbusters 2. At least just the ending.
I feel like I just watched it recently. No, I watched one.
You know what? I feel like I've always just watched a Ghostbusters movie.
Like it's just you're hot off the trails of a Ghostbusters movie.
Always at some point in time.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched Afterlife.
Really?
Yep.
I just watched that again not too long ago.
I don't own it yet, so
it's a good time. Or maybe my house. I'd take my house for a vacation.
House? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like your house enough to be on a vacation with it?
I frequently vacation with my house.
What would your entertainment be while you're gone? Just playing games?
I mean, I don't need to leave my house.
Would you take me with you, and then we could just podcast on the go?
We could.
What would we drive to in your house boat?
Like what kind of music would we drive to?
No, I meant like where would we go?
Oh,
we're going on a vacation.
I think you wanted to know what
kind of music we drive to. We're gonna make our own music.
Oh, okay. Good point. I would say like I would like to take the house to what's the new like Star Wars hotel thing?
I don't know.
The thing where you stay overnight and it's an immersive experience.
I don't know.
The
what's the immersive experience?
You stay at the hotel and like it's a whole storyline. You don't know about this?
No.
It's in Disney World.
Is that the immersive experience when Luke's in the trash compactor?
No, it's
that's the hotel room.
It's set, I think, in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
What's the name of the monster that's in the pit?
I don't know.
The
Sarlacc?
No,
in the trash
pit.
I don't know
because it was in Shadow of the Empire too, right?
That memory did not get committed to anything for me.
It's like a giant, horrible squid octopus monster with teeth that are sharp. I
Gotcha.
can't think of its name, though.
Season 2, episode 4, segment 1.
Hike
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch. We start this episode with a Fatheads commercial for chewable vitamin cheese tablets that are shaped like the Fatheads. Would you eat that?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor. Heifer's watching this while Rocko sleeps. And Heifer's been watching Rocko sleep, but Rocko has to go to work.
Yeah, this is another case where Heifer just walks in.
Rocko.
He's not waiting outside.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Spunky, inside Spunky, we have Bloaty and Squirmy in a segment called Gut Instinct. So this is like a segment inside of a segment.
Mm-hmm.
And they are on a boat ride on the Colon Queen, and it's part of an amusement park ride, or amusement park, and they encounter ringworms, which are scary and they're fake, and they meet Salmonella.
Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, with a thick mustache.
Yes.
So in the main world, Heifer finds Rocko's Fatheads cheese vitamins, but he's eating them like they're food instead of vitamins. We also find out that Spunky can bend spoons with his thoughts.
Yes.
Rocko tells Heifer that Spunky can't have the cheese vitamins. He tells Heifer about dinner at Granny's house a couple of years ago when someone gave a cat cheese vitamin and it exploded 19 minutes later. The memory shows Rocko, Heifer, the cat, and a pink bunny. Heifer asks who the bunny is, but isn't answered.
I love that part where, because I'm watching it real time and it's like, well, who's that bunny? And then 5 seconds later, Heifer's like, well, who's the bunny?
Yeah.
So Spunky's stomach starts to make noises, and Rocko realizes that Heifer did indeed feed Spunky a vitamin. And we know that Spunky only has 19 minutes before he dies, so we have to get him to a vet.
So I'm curious, though, like, what is it about the dog's stomach that would make this explode?
It's that cheese
versus a person or wallaby.
Well, doesn't like certain foods are toxic for a dog, right? Like, is chocolate, is that one or is that fake?
No, it's chocolate is.
Okay, so like the cheese vitamin is the equivalent of a large amount of chocolate for the dog. So it's toxic in Spunky's system.
Would a large amount of chocolate be toxic for a person as well?
No, I eat a lot of chocolate.
You don't think it would be? You don't think there's a threshold that could be there?
I mean, there'd be a lot of chocolate.
Diabetes. Maybe you go into a sugar coma.
But I don't know.
You wouldn't die, though. You'd just be in a sweet, sweet coma.
Yes, I get it.
In Spunky's stomach, Bloaty and Squirmy got tossed from the boat, and he sees the vitamin. The boat guide wants the vitamin to himself and says it's valuable. He kisses it and explodes immediately. Their time is not 19 minutes.
That's right. Yeah, once you get down to like
microscopic
levels, the time is a lot shorter.
Yeah.
At the vet, Filbert is there, and the vet gives him bad news that his pet is just a loaf of bread, moldy loaf of bread. Even they have to take it from him though, and they trade him for a jar of sauce because he loves sauce. And he is very happy about this until he gets bumped by Rocko on Rocko's way in, and the jar breaks.
The vet tells Rocko and Spunky that Spunky will explode in 19 minutes, but they give him some tests first.
And inside Spunky, we see Bloaty and Squirmy are presenting the vitamin and trying to seeing it. So like, come see this and give us some money.
Kind of like a freak show almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a carnival attraction.
Touch the magical statue kind of a thing.
Yeah. Rub the Buddha belly.
Yes, they claim it is a miracle from immortality, and people start to pay. A gang of bugs go and attack them though with pitchforks, and they take pieces of that vitamin.
As time nears the end for Spunky, a big chunk of the vitamin shows up in his ear, and then little explosions happen all over his body where the bugs had eaten it after they stole the pieces, and it was just popping. It almost looked like he had poppets all over his body.
It appears that they were maybe in his ear the whole time.
I think so. I think that's what you're led to believe at that point.
Because when we zoom in, originally we zoom into his stomach.
Yeah.
But I guess they could have taken their boat tour on the Colon Queen.
Yeah.
Up to the ear canal,
which is weird to think about because I mean you're thinking about bloaty and squirmy, like what kind of viruses are these or whatever that they're almost like fleas that live on the fur initially whenever we first meet them.
Squirmy's a ringworm.
But then that's what I'm getting ready to say. I was like, but then we know that like they're on the surface
go in,
living like
they
a
go
tick
out.
almost
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And then they're inside the body and then now they're out again. Now they're in the ear. It's just.
They're leeches. Best buddies. That would be on the album.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that on here or was that pre?
I think that was pre.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're working on a playlist for Rocko's Modern Life.
Maybe we did talk about it on here. I don't know. I thought it was pre.
I feel like it was pre too, but we should.
I'm gonna pre. If we don't finish this episode,
we should totally do like at some point a mixtape and put it out there in the world. And this is like the IFNZ. That was a hoot mixtape, and we could sell it. No, we can't sell it, but it doesn't matter. Now Bloaty and Squirmy are all alone on Spunky. All the other bugs are dead.
Yeah.
So were you a fan of vitamins as a kid?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get some Flintstone or whatever, No,
I was definitely a Flintstone kid.
I overate my vitamins like Heifer did. I don't know about you. Like when my parents were like, "Go get you a vitamin," I might take 2, might take 3.
Yeah,
because it was like candy.
I usually always did like the 2.
You doubled up.
I would if I knew that it was like just straight candy kind of a thing. Eat more. I really enjoyed the Flintstones vitamins.
Yeah, I like.
They're different
they're
nowadays.
Kind of
though, whenever you get the
gummy now, aren't they?
Hard ones.
Oh.
They have hard ones still that you can get, but they taste different.
Did you try them? Like, have you gotten them for your child? And
yeah,
and you were like, "Oh, I'll get one of these."
Yeah, she didn't really care for them, and I tried them, and I was like, "These don't." I don't either. I had a shitty palate as a kid, or they just are completely different.
They might be different.
They just taste completely different to me for some reason. But yeah, I mean, like now everything that's a vitamin can come in gummy form. There's like really no reason for me to take any hard vitamins at all. I just gummify everything. I wake up in the morning like I need some vitamin C. Give me 3 gummies. All right, episode 4, part 2, segment 2, whatever it is. Road rash. Heifer's showing pictures of the largest piece of cheese. Cheese again. What the hell? The Toe Jam Towers. Purvis, the world's largest rattlesnake, and Flim Rock. He's looking through a viewfinder, we find out.
Yes. Flim Rock is on the TV then. It's weird how that happens. I mean, it's almost like they had the internet before they had the internet, because as soon as they talk about something, it shows up as an ad. And that's how it is for me all the time. So Flim Rock is on TV because no one visits it, and without tourist dollars to pay for its repairs and maintenance, it will be demolished. Heifer says they have to go on a road trip to see it before it is gone.
So now Heifer has a motorcycle, which he purchased by saving his snack money for a whole week. He talks Rocko into going, you imagine how much money that dude would have?
He got a lot of snacks, man.
I know, but still, like, that's a lot of money.
He hungry.
Ah.
They get lost, but they take shortcuts that pass through the pyramids, Stonehenge, Florence, Italy, Easter Island, Eiffel Tower, and even heck. We see, what's his name?
Peaches.
Then they end up back at Rocco's. Then they go to the Taj Mahal and finally back on the road to Flim Rock.
They ask for directions. This guy gives a long, drawn-out directions, and then tells the story of him and his friend Fur, whose real name is Frank. Isn't that crazy? He talks until they're so tired that they decide to find a place to spend the night. The guy talks to no one all through the night.
They end up at Bates Motel, Bait.
Like fishing bait.
And we definitely get a Norman Bates type guy. And they decide that this isn't the place they should stay at, so they move on to the No-Tell Motel with Wawa beds.
He even does the whole
come here, mother.
Yeah. Come here, mother. Like peeks his head around. He's like, where? Like freaking out. It's the next day. The bagpipe music is still blasting from their motorcycle. They turn on a bagpipe playlist from the what was the name of the channel that they watched?
Oh no! Did the tape come from that?
Yeah,
because this is like there's a tape deck stuck in the thing.
Yeah, but the tape was of Heifer that he put into it, and it was from that. It had that bagpipe club association, whatever.
Yeah, I knew what you're talking
about. So I'm assuming that was like, oh, he's our platinum card member because he sold us the stomach. We give him free gifts once a month. They give him like that, tape. Like
I thought gift. I thought it was there when he bought it or something, but that makes sense.
Yeah, it's stuck inside the deck after he put it inside there. And the knob's broken, so they can't take it out. It's just been nothing but the bagpipe music nonstop. Rocko attacks the tape player to stop the music because he can't take it anymore. And Heifer spots a nearby restaurant called the Sausage Shanty, cured meat farts, and says he will be there if Rocko needs him.
Heifer in the Sausage Shanty asks for the largest thing on their menu. I've done that before, though. What's the biggest thing you got? And that ends up being the Knockwurst Nightmare Platter, which has 570 plus pounds of pig meat. No one has ever finished it, evidently. Heifer tries to order two, but the guy says that there isn't enough pigs in the country to do that, so he just settles for one and a side of fries. He begins eating it and goes, pig parts.
Rocko destroys the motorcycle until it pops the tape out eventually at the very end of all the parts of the ground. He tells Heifer what he did while Heifer's finishing the sausage plate. Done. He finishes. He's declared the winner and wins. Rice-a-Rooney eats the not worst nightmare platter home game.
That's a mouthful.
And a weenie mobile. Then they're back on the road.
The weenie mobile then breaks down. But they get help from a biker gang who is, they feel like biker gang has got a bad rap. So they're like, no, we go around and we fix things for each other. So they fix the weenie, and they only have 10 minutes before the snotty rock, what's it called?
Flim
rock gets
Snot rocket.
closes down. So they hurry up and they push the extra relish button to get there faster. They crash into the parking sign for Flim Rock.
We don't really get to see what the extra relish button does, other than they just push
turbo.
the button. I know, but we don't get to see what it does. You would expect it to be like relish shooting out the back end of like the, you know what I mean, like what looks like green poop,
maybe
kind of a thing. Flim Rock is about knee high to Heifer, and the guy who climbed it looks to be a bug. It erupts all over them, gets demolished by steamrollers. And then they make a parking lot where they move it in a choky chicken at the place.
It's so quick. It all just is like, you get sprayed, and nobody, at least we didn't. I guess maybe Heifer knew that Flim Rock was that small.
Maybe.
But I definitely didn't.
Well, even whenever you see it on the TV, that's where you see what the guy is like climbing up, but you don't really see
it's
the
not
guy.
a perspective.
Yeah. And you don't, and it could have been a perspective of like the camera's just sitting on the ground, making it look big.
Yeah. Heifer is excited about the choky chicken and starved. Go figure. So Heifer starts to plan their next roadside attraction trip while they eat.
Yeah.
Yes. So what is your favorite tourist attraction, roadside attraction to see? Have you roadside attractions things?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to think of what I've seen. I know I've seen some stuff.
Think of it while I tell you mine.
Tell me yours.
So there's two things. One, outside of Paducah, Kentucky.
Yeah.
There is a place called the Apple Valley Hillbilly Garden and Toy Museum.
Okay.
And so there's this guy named Keith, I think maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Who is
Keith.
He was a puppeteer in like California and worked for like the Henson like company and stuff, and decided to move here. I think he had family here and they died and they inherited this land or whatever. I don't remember, something along those lines. He shares way too much. He's a little off his rocker. And he has all of this stuff that's just trash that's out in his yard, and he calls it a hillbilly garden.
I've been to this.
Have you?
I believe, because you can drive up through parts of it, right?
No.
You can't?
No, you're just like, because his house
I've been through one where you can like drive up to and through a little part of it.
Oh, no, this is different. This one, you would remember this one. It's very memorable.
The one I'm thinking of is very memorable as well.
This is just like the guy's driveway to his house.
Mine might have been like in the Ozarks though too, that I've been at as well.
Gotcha.
But it might be something very similar.
Yeah, probably. And he's got all kinds of corny jokes that he tells all throughout it. And then he also, the only reason he's doing all of this is to save up money to actually open a toy museum. And so instead of having a toy museum, he has like a tractor trailer, like the semi trailer part, not the actual semi itself. He's got one of those that is full of toys, and he's got them set up, and you can go into it and you can see his like scenes that he set up of all his old toys. No. But it's just a very small room. It's probably the size of this room here, but there's only like 3 foot of walking area around it, and the rest of it is just wall to wall toys everywhere. That's crazy. I recommend going. It's a great time. And then also in Casey, Illinois, which is just north of us, they have a bunch of like the world's largest of things. They got like the world's largest teeter-totter and the world's largest mailbox and the world's largest spoon and stuff like that. Ruler. And
how big was the world's largest spoon?
I don't remember.
Oh.
And then they maybe didn't have the spoon. I might have made that one up. But they do have all those other things were true. I'm trying to think if that was like a picture I saw or if that was in reality. But that one's fun. That's just a quiet little town, Casey, Illinois.
Yeah.
On your way, like if you're going to Indianapolis, is when I stopped in there, because like you go north and then you go over, and it's on your way.
I don't know. Would you consider stuff like going to Metropolis and seeing like being the Superman statue? Is that something? You know what I mean? Like
anything that has a
billboard. What is a statue that's similar for that? Like what is it? Chester's Popeye.
Oh, the Popeye
right?
statues?
Yeah, Popeye
Absolutely.
statues there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's been a bunch of other ones that I may have seen. There were several that were in Salem that I got to see. Like they have statues there in honor of John Proctor, from the witch trials and everything too. And when we were there, it was during Halloween. They had this big, huge, everything. It was made completely of wicker, and it was like a replica of the oldest house that was in Salem. Oh. And it was massive, like huge. Like you would think it was almost to size the way that they actually did it, but it was entirely of wicker. And it was just like this display thing that they had, that it was just like an art display in the middle of the town. And it was really cool too. But like I said, that was just a temporary installation thing that they put up and commissioned out.
And then they burned it.
I wish. I don't think so. I don't know what they did with it eventually. Burning it seems appropriate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You know, you'd have to be careful though, because podcast day is a very dangerous day.
This has been an IFNZ production.
Yeah.